Leonard Hamilton than it is calling it quits. A long, illustrious career here, age 76. I wouldn't believe that. Like if you just said, how old is this man? They're going to tell me 76. Ain't no damn way he's 76. He looks great. He looks amazing. But after he's been coaching since 1971, RC, and this is going to be it for him. Had it rolling there at Florida State in a major way. A lot of people talk about that COVID year. I think we've given 5 or 6 different teams the COVID championship. Florida State, I think, is one of those teams. But what's just your first thought about Leonard Hamilton and just what he did over his career?
I think he should get some collegially get in. He's a Hall of Fame coach. I think he belongs in that same conversation with guys because he's had to build programs. He did the same thing at Miami, and he did at Florida State. There's no question in my mind. COVID cost them minimum of Final Four. Like that was a squad he had in the pandemic, and had that they had every opportunity. I think with the talent on that roster to make a run in the Final Four that year, and that was it. I think his staff, he lost his staff. He lost some guys on the staff. They're no longer getting those guys. He lost CY, he lost Gates. Those guys are together in Missouri, and we see what Missouri's doing. It's a sad day, with Leonard Hamilton resigning, but I'm okay with it. It's time, right? It's time. He's 76 years old. He's been there 23 years. I don't look at it as a sad moment. It's more of a celebratory moment for me because he's a great guy. I'm sure he'll be affiliated with that place a long time. The only thing I wish this was honestly a couple of years earlier, and they just would have slid Dennis Gates in and to replace him because it would have been one of his own guys kind of following. Wow. I wish that would have been something they kind of would have done. Just my personal feelings about the job. I wish they would have done that before he left and went to Cleveland State, or immediately after Cleveland State when he was looking to move on. Had they kind of made a transition where he could have picked his successor. But hey, one of the best. I love him because he's also will tell you how he created a style and how he does. He has his unique style that I think people take for granted, and which has allowed him to be so successful in any league he's been in. More importantly, in the ACC, where Kay and Roy has been in their dominant days. He had a stretch there, even while Virginia was doing well. He had a stretch there where they were as good as anybody.
And how about you?
RC, man, you hit the head, bro. It's just talking about that 2020 pandemic team, and I know that there were some teams playing really good ball that year, man. It was Dayton's playing good ball, Gonzaga, Michigan State, Kansas. But like you said, that might have been Florida State's best season to get to their first Final Four, and I think in like almost 50 years, man. It's tough. And on top of that, man, you're at Florida State. I don't think people understand how hard it is to go to these football schools that have such a strong identity on the gridiron, football state, football school, and get that support for men's basketball and that recognition from around the country for your program, right? And, I grew up in the DMV, and I didn't even think of Florida State as being a destination for hoop until I saw Isaiah Swan head down there. And I'm like, oh, okay. They hoop down there? Because, look, Isaiah Swan was nice. If you don't know who Isaiah Swan is, boy, he was nice. So I'm like, okay, if he headed down there, Florida State's probably the goods. But, yeah, man, that's it's tough. It's tough because I grew up watching ACC. And, Maryland's in the Big Ten now, but like grew up watching Gary Williams and, grew up watching Roy, grew up watching Kay. Everybody disappearing like ghosts, man, and it's definitely changing the whole landscape of college hoops. It's real sad because, things change and things adjust as time goes. It just naturally happens. But, it's time to embrace the new wave. And I'm really excited to see who can take this program to that next level because, Hamilton did a tremendous job there. And 100% agree. He needs to be in some Hall of Fame honors for sure, whether it's Naismith, whether it's college hoops. He's got to get his name in somewhere, man.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
to that point.
conversations going around with all of that, right? It's a lot of conversations about the ACC as a whole, as a league. I think this is the final acknowledgement of the ACC's in change, right? Of your veteran coaches. To start the year, you always talked about, all right, Roy's gone, Kay's gone, Bray's gone. And then now you add to that
Boeheim.
list, Boeheim as well. And then now you add to that list the two guys that we were kind of like, all right, the veteran guys. And then we unexpectedly lost Tony at the beginning. And then now you lost Coach L, and then Coach Ham made his announcement. So it is official now. That Hall of Fame class that we had 5 years ago, all of them now are gone, and it's in reality now, and the ACC is in change, and I'm sure they'll figure it out and get coaches in the league will be fine. But it's in today's time is where the game is changing faster than everyone seems to be able to keep up with it. The ACC, as we know it, may not be what we've known it to be honest, going forward, because it takes time to get to build what you had to have that type of stability and them Hall of Fame coaches like that. That's going to take some time because you're in change right now. There's no guarantee you get those hires right the first time or the next time they do it. So it could be. It could be another decade or two before they get it right and have it the way way it once was when it comes to those legendary coaches. So a lot to think about, a lot to talk about. It's scary, yeah. Just think about what the league could look like going forward because who's ushering us into this next generation. That's why I say I'm happy for Coach Ham that he's moving on. I would have loved to see Dennis Gates because I think if Dennis Gates was still there right now, I think they're rolling like Missouri's rolling, and you would feel you got a nice young great coach right there. Now, can he leave? Will he leave Missouri? I don't know if that's possible. I don't know if he'd want to, but that's why I say personally, I wish this would have happened and he could have slid right in there. And I think Florida State would be rolling right now. And with a guy that we all acknowledge is really damn good coach.
Yeah, I think he has a huge buyout too. Like I think they made sure that it was going to be tough to, pull Dennis Gates away once he got that. And he's got it rolling, man. I agree. He has established himself there this year after a really really tough last year, obviously within the SEC. So I'm glad to see that. All right.